You are now tuned in to the From Earth podcast with your host, Julius from Earth. Check us out on any of the major digital streaming platforms or on our website at FromEarthPodcast.buzzsprout.com. And as always, thank you for tapping in. All right, there we go.
Clap it up.
Yeah, what's really good, fellas? How y'all feeling?
Man.
What's going on?
So you good? You in the building?
I'm in the building.
All right. B, you good? You in the building?
Yes, sir.
Are we sure? Are we sure we ready to record tonight? I'm feeling this. It's feeling a little dead. It's feeling a little low energy in the building tonight, yo.
Listen, you're out of Reka. You're out of Goose. You're out of all
This guy, yo, he got some nerve. You're out of Reka. You're out of Goose. All of my specific requests of vodka.
You want me to come here and happy about this? No.
Hey,
Feel whatever energy I give today.
Feel free to stop in and bring a bottle of Reka anytime you would like to.
Coffee.
I'm feeling a little melancholy and solidarity with Kanye.
Jesus.
All right. What's going on, everybody? This is episode 67 of the From Earth podcast. I am your host, Julius from Earth, and I'm here with the homie Esoteric.
What's going on?
And with B. Davis.
What's happening?
All right, this is the last we're talking about Kanye. This is it. He's not on the notes, but this is we'll do it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring this up.
We'll do it. You know why? Because we haven't rehashed this in a minute. We haven't brought it back up in a minute.
Yeah.
Kanye's tripping.
Is he?
Yes, he is. Now, he's tripping because what he's doing is he's not really bummed out over the decision for Kim to allow their child to have a TikTok account? Was it TikTok or?
Yeah, it was TikTok.
A TikTok account.
Yeah.
He's just using that. He's trying to use everything as leverage. And the fact that he keeps going to social media with it. He keeps bringing everything to social media, bro. This is toxic energy.
This is Kanye.
It's toxic energy, man.
Really?
Yes, it is. If you have a beef, right? So I have children, and I've had to have the conversations about social media accounts in the past, and and even currently, right?
Yeah.
And have you ever seen me go on social media and tell you about the challenges that I've had with whether my child can have a social media account or not?
No, but I think we've talked about it on the pod.
We talked about why my reasonings were, right? Mm-hmm. I've never told you personally what the underpinnings of the conversations were that I was having.
Right. That's fair.
And because of that, that's my problem. My problem with Kanye is that if you're everything you're doing is you're making public. Mm-hmm. And this is family, this is personal, this is private stuff, or at least it should be.
Right.
All right. As a parent, I understand. I actually do agree with him as a parent. Mm-hmm. Not wanting my child or my children to have access to certain social media platforms.
Right.
I'm not disagreeing with him there. My issue is, hey yo, somebody give me Kim's number. Thank you, and posting it on IG.
Right.
Or TikTok.
Right.
Yo, why and calling out the publicist and everything. Bro, I feel like I'm in the room with them. Mm-hmm. Why? Why am I there? Why do I know this much?
I mean, are you asking rhetorically, or do you really want?
No, you can respond, please. Please respond.
So I mean, here's the thing, right? I don't know the full extent of what's going on with him and Kim, right? I'm not in the house with them. I don't necessarily inherently want to minimize his issues because I don't know the full extent, and I don't want to jump to he's just using his children as a way to get back at Kim because I don't know the full extent, although it could be possible, right? And if you look at like some of the things we dubbed as petty with the, moving across the street and throwing shots at what's her new dude's name?
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson, throwing shots at Pete Davidson in his song and this and that, right? We saw that as petty. But here's the thing. This is actually perfectly on brand for Kanye. Mm-hmm. He's taken everything to social media for like the last decade. This is what he's been doing. Right, he goes on his social media pages. He goes to blogs. He goes to people in the media or whatever, and airs things out whether we like it or not. Mm-hmm. So to me, that part is on brand. And at the same time, like people are like, oh, well, why are you going to the media? This and that. The Kardashians love the PR machine.
Mhm.
They live and die by the PR machine.
Mhm.
So he's fighting the fire with the same fire. He's jumping out ahead of them. For years, we have criticized the Kardashians and said that they've been behind the scene masterminding plots of their PR stunts and this and that, as far as how to make themselves look more favorable. And yet, for some reason now, Kanye gets zero benefit of the doubt in a situation with the Kardashians, who we've all assumed had been masterminding plots in the background for like the last 20 years.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So like, why is it not fair? Why isn't it fair for him to do that? And I'm not saying he's right, but I'm saying, why isn't it fair for him to do that against people that we have assumed have been doing that for the better part of 2 decades now?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think there are certain levels to what we're dealing with Kanye.
Mhm.
And first and foremost is how much of this will we chalk up to more of a mental health issue?
None. I'm not.
I mean, look, we're talking about
past.
Kanye.
I'm past his mental health stuff with Kanye, but
But it's still part of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like we said, we don't want to make the assumptions that we know what is or how he's responding to situations, you know, if he's cohesive in his thinking process or things of that nature. So Kanye, we all know, is flammable.
Right.
Very flammable. So we've gone ahead and taking the I guess the normal responsibility that we're putting other people and kind of use it as it's Kanye.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a very, like, we look at, like, if Kanye was in his right mind, could we see him doing this? We don't know.
Right.
What is Kanye's
And
right mind?
And I don't want you guys thinking I'm caping for Kanye.
no,
here,
I don't.
right?
I don't think you're capable.
But I'm trying to understand the situation that he's in, and I'm looking at it, and I'm breaking it down on a couple different levels, right? So first, if we go to the TikTok incident, right? We hear people, especially grown women, every day talk about how toxic social media is for them as grown women. Why would you want to subject an 8-year-old child to the same toxicity? Why? You see what I'm saying? Why would you cape for that? How does that make sense then? At the same time, just last week, we were bashing, well, not we on the pod, but in general, social media was bashing Nick Cannon for having another child, saying, oh, well, how do you spend time with all these kids? Meanwhile, Kanye's over here trying to spend time with his kids.
All right, boom. That's where you and I think that's where you and I maybe separate. Because what I feel like Kanye's doing here is I feel like he's weaponizing his children towards his ex-wife.
Sure.
Right? Like I said, if you have a problem with her and her new relationship or whatever, and the way that she deals with stuff every time she's out with Pete Davidson, it's a photo op. If that's your issue, fine. You want to buy a house across the street from your ex, fine.
Right.
Leave the children out of it is where I draw the line. That's my point of it. Like, even if you do have a legitimate beef with her allowing your child to have a social media account, why bring that to social media? This is your child.
Because that's what he does with everything.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. There needs to be a boundary. There needs to be a line. And that's why, you know me, like, I'm the one who's gone caping for Kanye in the past.
Right.
But this is one of those situations where, for me, I'm off that. Like, nah, this ain't cool.
Right.
And that's where I say, like, leave the kids out of it.
Sure.
I don't care if him and Pete Davidson fight butt naked in the street.
Wow.
I don't want to see it.
Wait, no.
But what I'm saying is, I don't care if that happens.
I care. I care. I care. And I can't have that happening.
Nobody wants
somebody got to be wearing shorts.
No, that's somebody.
Preferably both of them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Or otherwise it's going to become an Adidas commercial.
Adidas is tripping in it.
It's going to become an Adidas commercial real quick.
I have no idea where Adidas was going with the with what they were doing today on what is today, February 9th, Wednesday, February 9th.
Yeah, bro.
If anybody wants to search Adidas Twitter, go ahead, feel free.
Mess up all your algorithms.
They were tripping.
It was a collage of breasts,
and I know I saw you say maybe they were hacked, but
yeah, I really thought they were, bro, because they doubled down in like subsequent tweets, and I'm like, this wasn't a good idea.
I don't know, maybe.
So for anybody who didn't see it, right?
Was this body positivity? What was this?
So this was an ad campaign for their new line of sports bras. And they were saying how, you know, we make clothing for all types of bodies and this, that, and the third. And, you know, our bras are made to fit everybody. And we know, you know, breasts come in different shapes and sizes and all of that kind of, you know, good stuff. Perfect. Wonderful. Right. But then they post all of these breasts and I'm sitting there. And when I first saw it, I'm like, wouldn't it make sense to show the actual sports bra fitting on the breasts? But I didn't want to say that because, you can't speak for women on social media. So I had to shut the fuck up. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't say these things. But then I saw the replies to the Adidas post, and that's what all the women were saying. They were like,
where's the sports bra?
Right. Like, how am I supposed to, I can't see the bra. Like, what am I supposed to get excited about here?
So,
Did you support the titties? Like, is that what I'm excited about?
Do you have any insight or input on this?
I'm praying to baby Jesus right now. So you can go ahead
All right, so
I mean, I'm just saying, bro. Like, I didn't understand.
My thing is, like, if you're some random that decides to post nudes on Twitter because it's legal or whatever, cool, right? But if you're Adidas, if you're the brand Adidas,
yeah.
I feel like there's some level of responsibility and ownership or responsibility of the brand.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's not just like, this is a brand that sponsors kids sports.
Yep.
You feel me?
Yeah. They make sports bras for soccer moms.
Yeah, exactly. It's all over the world.
That's something
bro.
for you too.
And I understand, ads being, shocking and whatever.
Yeah.
But I think I kind of agree a bit with the outrage too.
Yeah.
I think I agree with the outrage too, because it's like, ayo, Adidas. If Nike comes in and starts advertising their new line of jock straps,
well, and
the last thing I need to see.
And that's the thing, because this, and that's what everybody went to, right? That's what everybody went to. But realistically, they make basketball shorts for men.
Yeah.
They will never put up an ad campaign of 30 dicks talking about their new wonderfully comfortable basketball shorts. That is never going to happen.
Big
They'll
facts.
never put that on social media.
Big facts.
And that leads to a larger question.
Hey, Siri,
right?
delete my application.
Like if a company feels that emboldened and that empowered to say, like, we're so body positive that we're going to promote these nude breasts, but they know they would never promote a nude penis. Mm-hmm. What are we really saying? You understand what I'm saying? Like, as a company, what are you really?
There's so many jokes in here, right? And we're trying to get through this segment professionally.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be wholesome today.
Are you? I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And I know we're not making it easy right now.
Really not.
With these first couple of topics, but
they would never do that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if we're gonna make these moves, then let's really make these moves. You want to be inclusive, you want to be body positive, you want to promote equality, then promote equality then.
Yeah.
Do it. But you're not going to.
What are you asking them to do, B?
What am I asking them to do?
Yes, what are you asking them to do?
Do it. 30 dicks.
All right, so
go ahead.
So that's
Adidas.
That's circumcised and uncircumcised.
Listen,
but if Kanye and Pete Davidson
wait, hold up.
somehow end up in the lineup.
Hold up. Y'all you see I wear Nike, bro. I'm not buying Adidas basketball shorts regardless. You understand what I'm saying? I'm immune to Adidas advertising. It doesn't matter to me. So they can do that.
I'm immune to their advertising.
So they can do that all they want. No. All I'm saying is, if they felt that comfortable to post breasts, like, let's keep it 100, let's keep it real. Like, you didn't do it because you really believe in that stuff. You knew you could get away with it.
You can get away with it.
You can get away with it on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, I think, listen, man, we can stay on this all night if we really wanted to.
I don't want to stay on. I don't want to stay on the meat.
That's what Arby's is for.
Correct.
I might get some Arby's this weekend, man.
We know.
Yeah,
we know.
Curly fries, baby.
Curly fries.
Let's go.
Yep, we know.
Curly fries.
All right. So,
anyway, what did y'all want to talk about on this podcast, man? I feel like I've said too much already, man. I'm introducing topics.
This is Kanye.
Yeah, y'all can forget it. It's done. It's over with.
Adidas and titties.
Yeah.
The meats.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
What y'all got left? I hope it stacks up to Kanye, Adidas, and titties.
All right,
I'm batting 1,000.
You are. You really are. You really are. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution.
About to take over as the host of this new show.
We appreciate it.
Trade deadline tomorrow. One of y'all might not be here next week. I gotta start getting ready now.
We know exactly where your mind is. Well, sticking with it. Let's stick with it. What is this advertisement or this commercial I just saw where Future and Kevin Samuels are teaming up for a collaboration?
Yes. I want front row seats.
Yo, what is happening, bro? Is this all right? Is this a show or is it like an interview or?
I think it's a song. I think it's like a new video feature got coming out or something, bro.
For real?
Yeah. Yeah. Power of male toxicity.
Is Kevin Samuels in the? Is he in the video? Like, is that what it is?
Yeah, he's in it.
Wow,
he's in it, bro.
Now that's called marketing right there.
Yeah, they have combined forces.
That is called marketing
it's
right
there.
It's
like the Voltron.
Absolutely.
Of toxic dudes.
Absolutely. 100%.
That everyone loves.
Wait. We're calling them toxic dudes. But let's look to our left over here.
Kevin Jr. over here.
How do you feel? How do you feel about this collaboration?
No comment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's staying wholesome. He's not taking a bait tonight.
I'm interested when this thing comes out, man, because I want to listen to it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if it was what it was, but hearing that this is a song, maybe with a video. I don't generally watch videos.
I already pre-ordered mine.
He's got his coming on vinyl.
He's on the remix.
It's an NFT. He's on the remix. Oh man! All right, well, whatever that is, bro. Maybe I know I'm going to see it. I already know I'm going to see it. I'm going to listen.
We're all going to listen.
We all going to do our little shimmy dance to it.
Of course, yo.
That's what's going to happen. Did either of you guys watch Tinder Swindler on Netflix?
I did not.
No.
Okay. All right, man.
Was it good?
Bro.
I'm hearing this dude.
Time out. How do you find these things?
It's number one. It's like the number one trending.
It was number one in
show
the trend.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
So when I saw it, and I was like, all right, well, what are we talking about, right?
Yeah.
And I clicked on it and I started watching. And this is exactly why I said that I don't understand how the dating apps?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How it benefits women. Now, all jokes aside, we're gonna get these jokes off. We're gonna get the jokes off. But before I get to the jokes, I will say this: that I don't support, scamming people out of hundreds of thousands of dollars and everything like that, which is what dude did successfully for a long time.
How? Did he just ask?
So, he was elaborate. He had like this whole scheme that he did, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And it was elaborate. I don't want to give it away because I know y'all didn't watch it yet, and I don't know if the listeners or the watchers checked it out yet. But let me just tell you, Buddy knew what he was doing, bro. He had this thing down to a science.
Okay.
Had it down to a science. And I will say, even now, he's not in jail.
Well, and that's why I'm asking if he just asked. Like, was it he told lies to the women about himself or his feelings, and they just gave him money because they were feeling him, or did he like get their bank card credentials or something?
He would just ask. He everything that he wanted them to do, they did.
Oh. Yeah.
Everything he wanted them to do.
Yeah.
He didn't steal their identities. He would just have them create stuff. He would have them take out loans.
Chicks do that shit every day.
Right? He would have them.
Why does he have a Netflix?
That sounds like a Tuesday to me.
Yeah. What do you mean?
All right. So all I'm saying is, if y'all haven't seen Tinder Swindler, check it out because dude was tripping, big wilding, and somehow he finessed that. It's very interesting.
What kind of levels are we talking about? Like, what kind of things did he have them?
First and foremost, he had all these women believing that he was the billionaire he was a son of a billionaire jeweler. On Tinder.
Okay.
On Tinder, bro.
Wait a second.
One red flag.
Exactly.
Tinder.
So he went on Tinder and told people his father was a billionaire.
All he had to do, he used a little bit of Photoshop.
Yeah.
Right? And they would what is it? I don't know what is it? They would swipe right. Or so I don't know, bro. Whatever swiping to link with somebody, that's what they would do. They would swipe to link with him.
Yeah.
And as soon as they link with him, boom, he's in the DMs. He's there.
You got to be kidding me.
Yo, I'm flying out. I'm flying out of London tomorrow. You want to come meet me at this fancy 5-star restaurant? And then they would be like, okay, because what he was doing was he was targeting chicks that had bank.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they would swipe on him because they looked at his pictures. He like I said, man, he studied how the game goes. Yeah. Post some pics, make him, to draw him in.
Yeah.
Take him to these 5-star hotels.
Yeah.
Same night. This is the one part I was tripping on.
Mm-hmm.
The same night that he was meeting these chicks at 5-star restaurants, he was getting them on a private jet the same night.
Nice.
Bro, when I tell you that he had this down to a science, had it down to a science.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
You gotta check it out. Please check it out.
It's like West Elm Caleb from a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Jesus.
Bro. Yeah, bro. You gotta check it out. Tinder Swindler on Netflix. This is not an ad.
Some of y'all gotta pay more attention than red flags, bro, on social media and social dating apps.
We can't tell women what to do. Right?
I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just saying that some people, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying women in general. I'm just saying people.
They did set up a GoFundMe.
Might want to pay some more attention to red flags.
Money.
Yeah, they did, which is wild. They set up a GoFundMe to get money back, but they agreed to do a Netflix documentary.
Yeah, get out of here, bro.
They didn't secure the bag on either end. Nope. I'm still trying to figure out how you let that slide. God. If I'm going to tell that story, because that's a major L. If I'm going to tell that story, I'm securing the bag.
Facts.
Listen, I can't tell people what to do.
Here's some ideas. Oh wait, we're not gonna tell them.
Here we go. Not
until Kevin Samuels drops.
Yeah. We don't want to be on women's business.
No,
not today.
No. All right, a break in the topics before we get to the more serious stuff.
Yeah.
When's the last time y'all went to the Shaky Butts, man? Strip club.
What?
Strip club. Last time you've been to a strip club.
Butts.
The Shaky Butt. You never heard it called the Shaky Butts?
No. What strip clubs you been to where they call it the Shaky
That's
Butts?
That's a general term. You never heard that?
Nah.
Yeah, it's general term.
Nah.
Y'all, it's a few general terms. Let me get into this real quick.
Oh God.
What do you call the pickup of a person after say 1 a.m. or after last call at the bar? What do you call that?
Last call.
Inside the club or outside the club?
Inside the club. When you bag something at last call because it's last call.
I don't know.
Okay.
What you call it?
Night fighters.
Wow.
Why do you know these terms?
Wow.
I mean, I heard barflies.
I was young once.
Wow.
I was young once.
I'm sorry. I didn't hang around people who disrespected women like that in my youth.
Yeah, nah.
So maybe that's why I don't know.
But now you do. So
right. So I'll put it like this. I'm reformed, right? I'm reformed, but I got stories.
You're a reformed toxic male?
I'm reformed. Did I ever tell you about the first time I got drunk?
Oh boy.
Did I ever tell you? Did I ever tell you about the first time I got drunk? It was my 21st.
Last time.
It was my 21st birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, first time.
Wait,
first time ever drinking.
Wow.
First time ever drinking, 21st birthday.
Wow.
My boys picked me up. I was in college. My boys picked me up. They was like, yo, we're going out. It's your 21st. You going to have a drink. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So let's do it. And they were like, where do you want to go? And I was like, well, there's a party. There's a college party going on.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, cool. We can go there. Because it was right there up in Trenton where I was at. Right. All right, we can do it. Let's go. What do you want to drink? I was like, I don't know. Like, what's a popular drink right now? They was like, yo, you can do some Hennessy. And so I was like, well, Hennessy, I heard that's kind of strong. They were like, yo, you can mix it. Matter of fact, we're going to do Incredible Hulks. So my first
your friends hated you, bro.
My first ever drink was the Incredible Hulk, Hypnotic and Hennessy.
They didn't take them to Shaky Butts.
Right. They didn't take me to Shaky Butts that night. But first time, 21st birthday, took me to a college party.
Oh my God.
Off of Incredible Hulks. And we bounced. So we went there, we stayed there for a little bit, and then we went to a house party. And the house party is where it all went down. House party, got there, it was dark. I was already sipping. You know what I mean? I was in the bottom of the bottle at that point.
Yeah.
And long story short, it was a short night for me. It was a short evening for me, bro.
I bet it was, bro.
And
I bet it was.
They got it on video.
Oh, there's video of this.
Yeah, they got it on video.
Tell them to send it to me.
Very interesting.
We need this video.
Yeah,
very interesting.
We need this video.
Very interesting. But, you know, I was just throwing that out there because the whole strip club thing, the first time you went to the strip club, or the first time I went to a strip club, right, I was in my 20s. And once again, not knowing the etiquette, because I don't want to say I started late. I started at the appropriate time.
But you started at the appropriate legal age.
Yeah, let me just say that. It's the appropriate time, right?
Yeah.
First time going to the strip club, I had a little bit of money because I was working. How much you ever spend at a strip club? What's the most you ever spend at a strip club?
$0.
$0. How about
you? I don't really be spending money. That's why I don't go to strip clubs.
All right, your boy spent $400 in the strip.
Stop, bro. Stop it. Stop.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Yeah.
What?
Jesus.
Yeah. They got me, bro.
Y'all were still brothers then, right?
They got me, man.
Listen, I admit my shortcomings as an older brother, You know what I'm saying? There were things that I weren't here to teach him.
This is on you.
Yeah, it is.
This is on you.
It is on me, bro. Like
y'all never spent no
me.
money. Y'all never threw no money.
I got the
in
second
there.
half of his life. I need you to come correct.
Come on,
first.
fam.
Yeah.
Come on, fam. Yo,
Yeah,
stick with me. Rob me real quick. Come on, y'all never spent.
How
no
many
money
chicks was the 400 one? Like, was it like just one?
Nah, it was probably like 3.
6 months later, she's married.
Yeah, it was probably like 3.
All right.
3?
I guess that's not bad.
Yeah. How about a regular club? How much?
No, bro. We're talking like what? 18 years ago, 19 years ago?
Yeah.
Inflation's a mug. $400 now? That's one. That's a lap.
The lappies was probably what, like 30?
Yeah, that was.
30,
bro, I
40
lost
somewhere.
track. I lost track.
Yeah.
Lappies then got these.
I lost track. Like I'm one of those dudes. That's why now, like I try to make sure I secure my mental.
Yeah.
And I take care of myself.
Absolutely.
You know, because I can be God.
Yeah.
I can be God. Which is why OnlyFans was one of those like, all right, you got to stay away from OnlyFans.
Bro,
all right, that's neither here nor there.
I told you that.
What about regular clubs?
I've blown some money in a regular club.
A regular club. How about you?
Regular club?
Yeah. You ever bought bottles in a regular club?
Yes.
Not my money.
Yeah.
All right. I was about to say I bought bottles in a regular club.
Yes.
Regret it. Like even to this day.
Like you know me, I finesse a lot of the shit I do.
regret it,
So
bro.
like I had a lot of
Nah, see, we was in the trenches, bro. I got it out the mud. I wasn't like you. I ain't have I couldn't just show up like, yo, bro, hit me. Let me get to. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I was at the bar. I was trying.
you gotta know how to plan. So what you do is you go in normal like the first few times, right? You get to know everybody. Once you get to know everybody, then every time you just kind of tip them as you're getting to know them.
Yeah.
So when the times go, let me get that bottle. I was like, yo, but yeah, I got you.
Forget all that, bro.
Yeah, he's gonna have a Netflix special about him in a couple of weeks.
For real.
You know
I was trying to flex.
Not gonna say it's not coming out. I'm just saying.
I wasn't even trying to flex though, bro. Like I just wanted to have a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't care who I was with. Bro, I would go by myself and get bottle service. Like it didn't matter.
See, that was
like,
the thing.
This is how bad it was for me.
And so I know this is probably difficult for people to believe. The people who know me personally are probably like, yo, he's cap. I'm not cap. I'm telling you right now that this actually happened, which is why when I had to slow it down, I was ready to slow it down.
Yeah.
What age?
When I slowed it down, 24.
Yep.
Because my pockets was getting lit up every weekend.
Yeah, bro.
Every weekend, right? But no, buying bottles at the bar was the one thing that everybody who was sitting there paid attention to.
Right.
I don't know what it is now. Like I don't know what that thing is now.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to, get a section or whatever, coming in with a team of people. With me, it was me and my homeboy.
Yeah.
And the thing we did was we buying bottles.
Yep.
I mean, I know a couple of club promoters now who like try to get me to come through. Like, yo, come through. Bring your boys, bring your homies, bring whatever. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like,
yeah, my thing about going any of those places now, like I'm much more of a laid back type of casual type of person, right?
Well, the settings change.
Yeah,
changes,
I need the music to be a little bit less loud.
Mm-hmm.
And right.
I need to know that it's wherever I'm at, it's a safe environment, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go nowhere where dudes is fighting with the bouncers or fighting with each other. That's not where I'm trying to be at.
And that's why we do rooftop bars.
Rooftop bars, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kickbacks at the crib, stuff like that. Yeah. Like that's kind of my speed now.
Sure.
If y'all want to go to the Shaky Butts, though, I'm down.
Bro, I don't spend
all right, man. We'll get off this topic.
Yeah, you're wild.
We'll get off this topic. Yo, the prices of food and gas are soaring right now.
Along with lap dances.
So take it away. Please tell us how we're getting gouged. We're getting price gouged.
You know how much the price of breast of chicken is? Chicken thighs are ridiculous,
bro. Nah, the last time I went to the grocery store, bro. I think I was just telling y'all the story. Bag of chicken wings that I usually pay like $8 for.
Yeah.
$14.
Yeah.
I was mad. I was hot.
Mm-hmm.
Went to get some gas yesterday. $4 a gallon for gas. I almost threw out a Let's Go Brandon.
Bro, this is what I tried to tell you all a couple of weeks ago, man. I tried to tell you this. When as much as they're touting an economic recovery and things like that, and we know that they're pushing for, higher wages, fight for 15, people want $20, $25 an hour based on the actual amount of production work per person, all that kind of stuff. Wages are going to end up going up. Mm-hmm. These companies are just getting out in front of that, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The wages are going to go up, but they're going to make sure you are still broke.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, they're going to make sure you are still broke.
This is the one time they're controlling the entire narrative.
Yeah.
They're short supplying you, they're raising prices, and they're paying you minimum right now.
Right.
You looked at rental prices recently?
I try not to. I know mine's going up.
just looked at rental prices, right? And when I saw it, I was like, who is this for? Like, who really are these prices set for? At this rate, man, like, people just can't afford to live.
They want to keep you broke. They recognize right now that, so this is why a lot of the pandemic social programs didn't get funded again for this year, right? Because they looked at the amount of money that people had in the bank. I think we talked about this with like velocity of money and all of that kind of stuff, and savings that people had in their account. And the amount of money that was in the bank per person, they looked at and they were like, oh, people are just saving money and paying their bills and not going out and shopping. Nah, we're not doing anything else, right? They want you to be broke. The expectation is that you will not have money in your bank account, right? That's what the system is designed around. And that's the break-even point for them. And they're like, as long as you can continue to go out and spend and go to retail and spend, we don't care if you're saving. That's not what we're worried about. Oh, you have a little bit of money? Cool. You're not getting anything else. And we're going to make sure these prices go up. And we're going to make sure your rent goes up and your gas goes up and your food cost goes up. You know what I'm saying? So we can get all of that money back.
It's insane.
That's what it's built around. Like, we could literally take that number, right, of how much money people have saved and decide a level that we find acceptable as a society.
Yeah.
Right? We could do that. We could say, okay, $3 trillion. That's how much money we want, to be able to look at the banks and say, this is how much Americans have in savings, a total of $3 trillion or whatever that number should be. And when it's underneath of that, we could say, whoa, what's going on? People they're losing their savings. They're not going to have the opportunity to pay for college for their kids or private schools or to be able to do extracurricular activities, anything like that. Instead, we say, oh, you got some bread? Yeah, I'm going to need all of that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a philosophy. It's not an economic cycle that we're in. We're in a philosophy that you are supposed to be broke and in debt in this country.
We think capitalism is built off of. Someone had to take the reins, and the other one had to just follow behind.
It's all the same, bro.
It is.
Like, whether you're talking capitalism, whether you're talking communism, like, it doesn't matter. It all ends up in the same bucket.
Communism, but
it's the same thing, bro. It's the same thing. I mean, have you seen any communist nations where people are walking around with exorbitant amounts of money in their pockets?
No, but they're also
as far as the regular citizenry.
Well, no, but
exactly. That's my point.
But I'm saying that I think it's a different level of how it's dealt with, because it's not like there's a different level of classism in there that doesn't apply to us. It's kind of like the us versus them. Right now, we have too much of everything and not enough of everybody.
Right.
So I hope someone doesn't quote that, by the way. We're going to talk about that. Let's talk about that. Oh, we're choosing violence today. We're going to do that later on. But anyway.
Oh, my
God. But no, I mean, it's like, we're dealing with different levels of what people do and don't have here. We're talking about, like you said, people just are bred here to continually work, to stay in debt, to always be reaching out for more.
Yes.
And never obtaining it. The goal is always being pushed.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So go ahead.
Because I was just looking up and I was just like, we're talking about groceries, and I'm like, meats are one of the things that are just in short supply.
What's in short supply?
You don't have enough meat? That what you just said?
He said meat is in short supply.
I said
his meat was in short supply.
Wait for my Nike ad. That's all I'm saying.
Oh.
Okay.
So what you're saying is you are not meated up right now. This is what you want us to know?
What would Arby say to you?
It's perfect.
Yo, that was the quote that you had meated up. You needed to throw that in there. My bad. Go ahead.
But anyway,
food is in short supply.
Food's in short supply, specifically meat, and
he doubled down on it. Bro. He went back to it. He told us twice his meat is in short supply.
Not my meat.
I mean, that's what I'm hearing.
Please don't get him started.
Listen,
please don't get him started.
Say one more again. Right. Say one more again.
Please don't get him started, bro.
Oh, what is wrong with y'all, man?
He gonna bring the camcorder in.
Roll tape.
They're gonna start leaking films like Nelly. I don't know why y'all made me bring this up.
Why is SO trend? Oh my God.
Yo, talk about the produce section or something, bro. Like dry foods, cat foods.
Because
like
butchers don't
paper
control
towels
produce
or something, bro.
But
Come
well,
on.
comparison to is grocery stores versus butchers, right?
Yeah.
We're not hearing the same level of, short supply in butchers, are we?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
whenever I go to the butcher shop that's near me, I don't usually have any issues.
So it's again, it just goes to the point of what they're controlling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These butchers are not going out of business left and right.
Right.
Matter of fact, I haven't heard of any. I'm not saying there aren't any that are, in some short supply, but you don't hear about it.
Right.
So why are we dealing with this type of situation in grocery stores?
Maybe this is the perfect time to reintroduce the whole topic of hunting and gathering our own foods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. Like, I know, obviously, I'm joking, but all jokes aside, like, you're right. The butcher can go and they got their own plug, right? They got their own plug for their supplies.
Sure.
They don't got to worry about the cross country shipping on unless they're doing like
I think they do more domestic.
the Wagyu.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. But maybe you're right. You're absolutely right. Go ahead, Abi.
No, I was just gonna say supply chain is probably an issue, and cost for supply chain and things like that. Any time where there's like there's natural disasters around or something like that messes up the supply chain for weeks at a time. And so when you're talking about a lot of the supply chain issues that we're having of, getting all these vaccines out, getting masks that they're sending out to everybody, COVID at home tests, and all those things help to put a strain on supply because they're introducing something new into the chain, into the system that then has to get delivered. Mm-hmm. Right. So when you talk about a local butcher shop, like you think about it where we live, right? There's cows around here. There's pigs around here. There's chickens around here. There's turkeys around here. Right. You know what I'm saying? They can locally source within a 50-mile radius, probably a lot of the things that you would carry in your butcher shop.
Produce too, because there are a lot of spots.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously it's conducive to your area, but
right. Yeah. When you start talking about the chain stores, however, the bigger supermarkets, they're not locally sourcing stuff in the same vein.
Correct. Which just goes to think as a CEO or an owner, you would want to locally source at that point. Because
you would think so. But then when you start talking about the quantity that you need, and can somebody supply you with the quantity?
Yeah, if you're a Walmart or a ShopRite or an Acme, one of these big, huge chain stores, where you need like mass bulks of everything,
right?
Yeah, your local farm would love to supply it.
Like you didn't need 20 turkeys this week; you might have needed 200.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Like that, and that's a difference from I can go to one farm and get what I need, or I got to go to 7 or 8 farms and then deal with the logistics of that, or I can call up a company like Aramark or something like that has a mass cold storage facility in the area that I can order all this stuff from, and they just bring it to me.
But it feels like these companies aren't making any choices. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not trying to bridge any gaps. They're not trying to fill the void.
No, they can just raise the price. No, like that's their choice. That's all they're worried about. They can just raise the price.
But there's only so much of that you can do before you're still in short supply of that. You know what I mean? Like raising our price on what's left is not going to change the fact you're still out of it.
You're saying it's left, and I guess what I'm thinking of is they still have access to it.
Yeah,
they still have access to it. Maybe there are increased. Maybe there are. I was going to say maybe there are increased prices for shipping and things like that. But at the same time, they still have access to it.
Yeah, but again, it might be not in the same supply source, like you said, with all the external factors that are being shipped in the process as well. So that number is not going to change based on whether they raise a price or not. Even if they drop the price, they'll sell out, and they can't replenish. So it's typical supply and demand. But what I'm saying is there's still no other supply coming in, no matter how much they change that price, and it's still not going to fix the problem. And that's what I'm saying is for the interim, they should be looking at short-term fixes to see, what I'm saying, just something, even if it's locally sourced or however.
But see, that's the thing. We're assuming there's a problem, and what I'm saying is there's not really a problem. They're just raising prices because they can.
No, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like when I go shopping, I'm not seeing a bunch of empty shelves. Now that doesn't mean that nowhere has empty shelves. But if I go to the store, if I Instacart, I'm not getting an item that I want. You know what I'm saying? I'm not walking through the store and seeing, oh man, this is mad. Like in the beginning of the pandemic, when people were, going wild and buying all the ground beef and the chicken and, everything they could get their hands on, then stuff was legitimately empty.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, I haven't seen it that way in the stores that I personally go to.
Right.
Not say it's not out there, but I'm not seeing it.
Well, B stays at the beef and cheddar aisles.
I bring my own meat.
So he can make his at-home Harvey sandwiches.
Beef, that's probably the worst thing they make. And I know it's what they're known for too, but I don't do the beef and cheddar.
I don't know, bro.
Nah.
I don't know.
I will get a chicken sandwich from there though.
Doesn't like the way it slides down his throat. Okay, we get it. But anyway.
Fire this dude, bro.
Yeah.
You brought this on yourself.
You're about to get traded for Ben Simmons. I don't even know if this dude talk. But you know what I'm saying? But I'm putting a mic in front of him.
He mimes.
Yeah. Like,
He mimes.
I hope he talk better than he shoot.
All right. So we talked about it a little bit last week. I see it's back on the notes again this week. I think Esso threw it on there about Spotify and Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
Since last week, there's been a lot more developments.
Yeah.
Rogan has a mixtape out on YouTube, on Twitter right now.
Facts, bro.
It was like how long? It was like a 3-minute video.
Yeah.
Of him using the N-word.
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive.
It is.
That is impressive.
It is.
Because I know that people chopped and screwed it, man. Yo, they remixed it like to the point where Rogan, Spotify, everybody had to come out and try to throw out these statements and apologies. And all right, so I know you have plenty to say about it, and I know for you, you're going to be like, this is why we need to get rid of big business. I get it. Right.
The problem is black ownership.
For facts. The pillars of our community.
Facts.
So the thing about Rogan, right, is all of the people who felt like they needed to come to his aid.
Yeah.
As if he doesn't have 12 years worth of material that you can just go through. Recorded material, video, audio that you can go to. Regardless of context, regardless of time period. If it was said, how it was said, when it was said, right? It's out there.
Yeah.
And that's the gift and the curse of doing anything like this, podcasting, YouTubing, any of it, right?
Yeah.
Once it's out there, it's out there.
I want to give a quick shout out before I turn this back over to
go ahead.
I want to give a quick shout out to India Ari.
Yeah.
Because I believe she was the one that really
Mm-hmm.
popularized that mixtape video and put it out there right after she pulled her music off of Spotify. You know what I'm saying? So I think that needs to be like, we got to mention that.
Yeah.
For everybody that didn't want to say anything or do anything or whatever, once again, black women holding it down.
Okay.
Esso, go ahead.
Enough said.
That's all you got for that?
Big business sucks. No.
LeBron and 6.
LeBron and 6. LeBronald.
LeBronald, absolutely. Ronald Senior.
There's just so many things that are just wrong, and then just so many things that I just don't understand, and then so many things we just deal with on a typical basis, right? So obviously, Joe Rogan, without getting back into what we discussed last week, and even now for that matter, pertaining to him, there's only so many things comedians can do before it gets triggered by social media, by people, companies for that matter. The thing is, Rogan was wrong with what he said, obviously. I'm not trying to defend him in any way, not going to cape for him in the least. I don't blame Rogan for what is going on. I blame Spotify. Because Spotify knew his material. Spotify listens to material according to what they're saying that they screen the process for, and continued to let this man make $100 million plus dollars off it as far as his net worth for them until it was called out. This sounds like, I'm going to say every other big business, but this sounds like corporate America. Until somebody is called out on some bullshit, this cycle will continue. It is not going to change. I promise you. Don't think all these equity inclusion things that are out there and all these smoke screens for the matter are going to be making the changes that we deserve and need. It is the current climate that we're in right now. Joe Rogan's thing will blow over, and there'll be another one just like Joe Rogan, who's doing the same thing probably right now, who may not be as noticeable, to the public eye as Joe Rogan is, but somebody's doing the same thing already. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's things we say up here that we are mindful of. You know, we keep it in context for our audience, knowing that what we deal with. You know, but we take personal responsibility for that, and we kind of lead off with like, you know, hey, look, we're not trying to represent all of this. We're not trying to do this. We give examples for it. And again, someone might find us offensive in that, but let us be Joe Rogan. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a whole nother level of everything, and that's what I'm saying. So Rogan's going to be just like every, you know, respectfully white person out there who is making that kind of money with his. No, listen.
What?
With the same level,
are just like
with the same level.
Yo, my bad, my bad, white people.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. With the same level of, as he would say, examples that they're using. Okay. Like I said, Joe Rogan's not the first.
Right.
He's not going to be the last. We had a president come in saying some other things prior to would disrespected certain groups anyway. Okay. He's not going to be first. And that was the leader of the free country.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So at what point do we say enough is enough? And we've been saying that all our life. But the bar has been pushed yet again to where now it just comes down to, let me write it off for another checkbook.
Right.
Here's some money for you.
Sure.
Here's this for you. Swept under the rug, you know, wash, rinse, repeat. Here we are. This is like, I'm tired of dealing with the same types of stories, just a different brand. That's all it is.
It is.
I'll say this, right? So Spotify, when they signed Rogan to that lucrative podcasting deal, right? He did so. They did so, understanding, like you just said, so that he has a huge fan base, a huge follower, and that's what they paid for.
Right.
Spotify paid for that fan base.
Yep.
Right. If I'm guessing correctly, I'm guessing they were aware of his material, and like you said, until it was really thrown out there and blown up, it was, people like it.
Right.
People are cool with it. I will ask this, and this is in no way, shape, or form trying to gaslight or anything like that. But what other artists are on other digital streaming platforms that have questionable character? Do we have murderers making music? Do we have
absolutely
people who were convicted of sexual assault still have their music streaming on digital streaming platforms?
Of course.
And I think I saw this, and this is what some of the public outcry was like, where's the outrage for all of these other questionable character people and people wanting to pull their catalogs in protest of that?
Well, you don't feel like it's
okay.
I'm sorry.
I was asking, like I said, not for gaslighting purposes.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely.
But if you want to break down what the difference is between Rogan and, say, an R. Kelly, all right, that's what I'm asking. Right, because I know that's one of the things that I saw out there. And
that, to me, like I said, the situations are different. For the simple fact is, it feels very much like, you know, you say Black Lives Matter, someone says all lives matters. It's like, we're not dealing with that. We're dealing with this. You can have your little whatever you want to do, but you do it in your own time. Don't use it when I say this, and all of a sudden now you want to bring on something else. That's what that situation, from what you're telling to me, feels like, if that's the case.
It feels like whataboutism, right?
Whataboutism. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, fine. What about it? What does it have to do with this? Does that nullify the accountability that this company and Joe Rogan are responsible for? Not saying R. Kelly is any more or less. I'm just saying we're not trying to focus on it. And that's what I'm saying. They try to pull you away from what it is, to just narrate. Yes, and control the narrative. Keep them guessing. Keep them focusing on something else. Let's not have the accountability where it needs to be focused on. You know what I'm saying? So that question's always going to come up. Whenever somebody in a prestigious kind of position is kind of being targeted, it's going to be the whatabouts. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, in the abstract form of, if you're going to say, well, Joe Rogan said this, but you know, what about Snoop Dogg? What about R. Kelly? What about Jay-Z? What about Chris Brown? What about Trey Songz? What about Tory Lanez? Like, we congressionally already had that issue back in the early 90s. It's the reason why we have the parental advisory stickers on music now.
Was it 80s? Two Live Crew?
Late 80s, I guess. Early 90s, somewhere in there. You know what I'm saying? So we went through that. We did that, right? But to put it more succinctly, right? If you want to go apples to apples, we talked about Whoopi last week, right? And she made a comment that people felt was racist, and the very next day, a punishment was handed down, right? So it's one of those things where we consider racism the original sin of this country, right? Racism kind of has a place that's elevated above, basically, well, above a lot of other things when it's being committed against somebody, right? Whether it's if you're having it committed against you and how you feel about it, or if you are somebody that, you know, participates in the racism and how you go about it, right? It's a different brand. You know, you go outside, you punch somebody in the face, might not be a big deal, but you punch somebody in the face because you're a racist, that it's a whole nother level. You understand what I'm saying? It's the razzle dazzle on top of it. So
it's the chocolate syrup.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it really is. It turns something from a regular crime into a hate crime, right? There are additional charges and there are additional counts when you go to court for something like that. You understand what I'm saying? So racism gets treated differently in this country, at least, because of that. And so when we watched Whoopi get a punishment handed down, and then the very next week we see Joe Rogan go on a 3-minute spree of saying the N-word, and Spotify was like, well, nothing we can do about that. Then I think it's right to question and say, what are we doing? Why is it okay for one person to walk away with zero consequence while somebody else got suspended for 2 weeks from their job? And this isn't about silencing anyone or anything like that. I'm very much a proponent in general of if you don't like it, don't listen. But again, I think racism is one of those things where as a country or as a society, we at least try to pretend that that's something we don't want across the board, right? That's what we all say. Now, what we do and what we legislate is oftentimes something in opposition to that point. But it didn't make sense for me for Spotify to hide their head in the sand and say, we're just a platform, because that's not correct, right? They're just trying to say, oh, we just host it. That's all we do. You paid $100 million to have it exclusively on your platform. You are the publisher. You know what I'm saying? You purchased the content to put out on your platform to publish. You're culpable here. And they need to understand that.
Thank you. Put very well, both of you. Appreciate that. And like I said, the reason I throw it out there is because I know that those are some of the questions that are going to come. But it's just like the what about Chicago?
Well, and that's the thing, because let's be honest, Detroit, it's not a good faith question.
Yeah.
They're not legitimately asking because somebody really wants to say, hey, you know what, there's a lot of negativity in art and music and we should get rid of said negativity. Because where does that line stop? Right. Does that mean I can't watch Terminator 2 anymore?
Where does it even start?
Because somebody got killed in the movie? Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like, where does that? There is no stopping point for that. So it's not a legitimate question of something anybody wanted to know. It's absolutely whataboutism. Because those same people are saying things like, oh, Joe Rogan gave a voice to the voiceless, and he says things that people need to hear, and he brings up great conversational points. And I'm like, what is it? What is the voice to the voiceless thing? What did he say that you couldn't say other than the N-word? For 3 minutes.
Did you see?
You know what I'm saying?
Did you see the clip?
Is that what you really needed to say, that you felt so oppressed about that you can't say the N-word?
He has this clip out there too, where he was talking about going to a black theater. Did you see that one?
Yeah, that's the Planet of the Apes situation.
Planet of the Apes. That was in Philly.
Yeah, that was in Philly, bro.
I don't want to put it on the map, but
yeah.
And I'm like, it's like, again, you double down,
right? And this is exactly my point.
This invalidates what he's saying. He's like, I didn't say that. We got you on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, bro. It's on video. It's on audio.
Yeah.
And this is why I say, look, I said white people, yes. Somebody's going to feel offended because I said that.
Right.
No, they're not going to feel offended towards you, though. But they're going to hit me up and tell me
it doesn't matter. Bottom line is
to stop putting my podcast on their timeline.
but
then they're going to hit my messenger at 2 a.m. just to curse me out and then block me. That's what they're going to do.
Because that's don't got time for the response.
That's what some of these faux tough guys like to do.
But these are the people that are also caping for Joe Rogan right now. Like that's my point. Like when people are like, oh, well, it's out of context and you got to listen. Like what context do I need to hear Planet of the Apes, we stepped into Africa when you're talking about Philly? I'm 20 minutes from Philly, bro. You understand what I'm saying? I know exactly what context you were talking about. I've probably been to the theater he was talking about. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need any extra context there. He knew what he said, and this is the reason why he came out and apologized. See, that's where he really went wrong in the long run. He apologized.
When people apologize after something is dead, it's because what's the word I'm looking for? It's not even. It's conditional. It's so conditional. It
is. But here's the.
I'm sorry, I got caught. That's what that is.
Here's the hyperbolic question. What's the difference between Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle? Right? When you're talking about Dave Chappelle's transphobic comments that people say he made, things like that, and he says we're taken out of context. The difference between him and Joe Rogan in that instance, Joe Rogan apologized. He didn't stand his ground. He didn't stay 10 toes.
That's a good question. And the only reason I'm going to say is if a certain group is victimized and victimizes another, how does that context play in responsibility? You know what I'm saying? Like, depressed is somebody else.
Yeah, hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people. Right? So we're trying to hold the same hurt people accountable for the oppressor standard.
So,
makes sense?
No, I completely understand what you're saying. The difference is I don't think what Dave Chappelle said was inherently transphobic. I'm posing that question that way because these are the arguments that people brought up.
Well, I'm not saying Chappelle in general. I'm just saying, generally speaking, like if that was a context for any situation.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And listen, it's not okay for anybody to try to oppress someone else.
Right.
And listen, we can even talk about our own community of specifically Black men, right? Who really don't necessarily want to be equal to it. They just want to be able to oppress other people. You know what I'm saying? That exists. We know that exists. And that exists in everybody's culture. That's not okay. Right? But in these type of media-driven events, the reason I draw the comparison and say the difference is Rogan apologizes because now I have the ability to say, hey, guess what, Joe Rogan? You were wrong. And he can't deny that. He can no longer defend himself to me because he admitted that he was wrong. The problem with being wrong is in a lot of places when you're wrong, it comes with a consequence. Right? And so if he's going to sit up there and say, I was wrong, I shouldn't have done it, this was terrible, I shouldn't use this language, I've learned I'm not going to do it going forward, you're admitting to the wrongness. What's the consequence?
Well, now he's calling it a political hit job or a hit job, not political, but he's calling it a hit job.
Right, and that's crazy because you admitted that you were wrong.
Correct. Like you can't double back on a double back.
You can't. And that's the one thing. And listen, if you're going to be successful, you can't apologize. And we've had this conversation before on things like 6ix9ine.
I was gonna say this does sound kind of toxic though,
right?
This does sound, yo.
But I'm keeping it real,
you. But I'm gonna stand 10 toes in my wrong.
And people are going to support you all day long for it, bro.
That's wild.
There's always going to be somebody to support you.
It's just a wild concept to me. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just saying that. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Successful people are successful because they don't care about whose neck they had to step on.
Yeah.
And they're not going to apologize.
They're not going to. I mean, listen, let's keep it a buck, bro. R. Kelly told us he was innocent for 20 years.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? He told us he was innocent for 20 years.
Yeah, I know I mentioned R. Kelly. I don't really want to get into
I'm not going to get into it, but I'm just talking about when you don't apologize, somebody will always cape for you because there's always reasonable doubt at that point in the public sphere because we as the public don't have all the information, right? So somebody will always say, well, we don't know about XYZ, and things will be allowed to continue. Corporations will be still allowed to support because you don't have enough reason to boycott them. You don't have enough reason to put any pressure on them. So everybody's safe at that point.
Corporations don't care about your, like you say, pronouns. They don't care about your gender. They don't care about your
race. But they do care about their bottom lines.
Exactly.
Right? And they don't want to be dragged down because somebody they're supporting is dragging them down.
You are racist until you affect our bottom line.
That's it. That's it. Honestly, yes. Like they don't care. Like if somebody's out there supporting somebody racist, they don't care until they get called out and their advertising dollars are going to waste or their bottom line is suffering because of it. They will continue to support it.
And then they'll just drop titties on Twitter and everything.
I mean, they probably will. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jim Jones will still be in a fucking Gucci store.
We're not saying sex sells, but we'll do it anyway.
And Gucci. Yo, I thought we was boycotting Gucci.
Yo, Jim Jones was like, nah.
Whatever.
As a matter of fact, he had a post on Instagram talking about, yo, don't talk to me about Gucci.
Yo,
like, I'm still going to wear it.
He had me die in the group. So he said about King of Prussia. What the hell was it?
Yeah, man. Like,
I was crying, yo.
Damn, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to. It's Black History Month. I didn't really want to bring this up because I don't want to disparage my people. But listen, black folks got to stop thinking that we are the reason that Gucci is around. Mm-hmm. We got to stop thinking that we are the reason that Louis Vuitton is around. They were definitely here before black folks started buying them in mass. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep it 100. I don't know who started this lie.
And so what we've concluded is that B hates all black people.
Hey, listen, it's Black History Month. I don't want to do that.
If you wear designer right now, you are a foe, according to B. All right. Got it. Noted.
Only if you're Jim Jones in the store complaining.
Complaining about being mistreated while still purchasing said
$30,000 worth of shit, bro.
Yeah. I'll never listen. I'm not rich. I'm not wealthy enough to give the big middle finger in dollars to to merchants. So I don't know. Maybe that's something I'll never understand. I'm not gonna lie though. Y'all give me the bag. Let me have 20 mil. Let me be 20 mil up.
Yeah, you going to Gucci?
I'm probably going to Gucci too.
You going to Gucci?
Wow.
I'm probably going
now,
to
if they don't bring you any sparkling water or champagne.
Now, if Spotify listens to all this and says, yo, we want to sign y'all.
Yeah.
And the numbers are looking right.
Listen, Spotify said, we need to get more people with other voices on here and diverse voices in this
I'm
and
there
that.
too.
Let's go then.
We're there.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna have a team meeting.
Yeah.
A powwow.
Yeah.
And we're gonna discuss this thing.
We can be racist too if need be.
All right.
2 years.
Yeah, right. For 100 mil. Yeah. How many times you need me to say the N-word, Spotify? I got you.
Wow.
I got you.
Fucking sellouts,
I got
bro.
you. All right, yo. Last topic of the night. This is a hypothetical.
I love black people.
Yeah, B loves black people.
Yeah.
Unless you're buying Gucci.
Yeah. Stop that shit.
I was having a conversation with somebody and they were mentioning to me about this term fetal anomalies, which we used to term it birth defects. Mm-hmm. And the conversation that we were having, we were talking about how they used to work at an abortion clinic and how hectic that atmosphere was, right? Mm-hmm. And it brought up the question. And I wanted to ask it to women, but obviously, this is three guys here, so I'm gonna bring it up. Hypothetical situation. Mm-hmm. You're involved with a young lady who's pregnant. She goes to her OBGYN and they tell her that there are some fetal anomalies, meaning that there are birth defects in utero that could lead to long-term illnesses, you know, after birth.
Sure.
Those conversations are tough conversations, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, and this is in no way, shape, or form trying to back anybody in a corner. Mm-hmm. I'm asking you, we know as men, we don't make the final decision.
Right.
But are you having that conversation with your significant other about, hey, do we hit the reset button on this and terminate this pregnancy? Or, do we go to term and, do everything in our power? Resources aside, mm-hmm. say you have all the resources in the world. Mm-hmm. Say you have all the resources in the world. All right. Resources aside, money is not an issue. Okay. Where do you fall on that topic?
You want me to take it? You want to take it, B?
I'll let y'all off. I'm gonna let y'all off the hook with this one.
Okay.
Right. I'll take the heat for this. Yes, I'm having a conversation.
Okay.
Oh well, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I can say that in a hypothetical manner as a person that does not have children.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So since I have not brought any children into this world, I don't have the connection of having a child to be like, nah, I would love it regardless, this, that, and that. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, not having a kid at this point, would I have the conversation? I think I would have the conversation. I don't know where that conversation would end up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I think her input on that would be definitely necessary and probably would be the tipping point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Resources aside does make this a different conversation.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? When you have the resources to take care of those things.
Well, that was why I said
care.
Yeah, that was why I said resources are not an issue.
Sure.
Because when you start throwing in those other factors, right? Of, maybe you're a salaried employee that's making, $70K and your spouse or significant other is around the same range, and we already know how children are. Expensive. That's an expense.
And that's why. And I know people are like, "Oh my God, I would never say that," right? But if we're all thinking about even just with healthy children, right? How many of us, when getting into relationships or things like that, said, you know what, maybe we're not financially ready to have a child yet. I think that's a general conversation people have, and they're thinking about healthy children. So if you're thinking about a child that might have what do we call it now?
Fetal anomalies. Yes.
The cost of the medical care and things, like, I definitely think you have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said a lot of things I was going to say too. So we are on the same page on that. I think also the level of relationship you have with your partner makes a difference as well. Because every relationship is different as far as trust, for that matter.
Sure.
Can I trust you to be there if this happens, or can I trust you not? Like, whatever the situation may be for that person, is different for everybody.
Sure.
And again, resources aside, having a child is basically like playing blackjack when you have 20 and keep asking to hit.
Yeah.
What?
You're going to just lose, bro.
According to SO, having a child is a losing proposition.
Bro, for the next 18 years, you're just losing out. Money is just your finances change.
He was doing so well.
I was.
And then I introduced this.
Bro, I tried to take the heat and be the bad guy.
No.
Like, I tried to be the bad guy
doubling down.
and let y'all be like, no, everything would be great. I would love my child regardless. I had children. I know how it feels. Like, I tried to do that for you. And then you jump on here and say, you have a kid, you're a loser. You're going to be broke. Your kid's going to take all your fucking money. It's not worth it. Your wife's going to get on your nerves. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
where's the lie? Where's the lie? Sex is out the window and throw it all out.
Oh, man. We were so close. We were so close.
You're just going to be looking at Adidas ads. All Adidas ads for the next 18 years.
In the Arby's parking lot.
That's all you get. Adidas titties. That's it.
No, but all right. Let me get back. No, I mean, look. Kids are a big responsibility. Especially if you're a first-time parent.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things you do not understand.
Right.
I think if this was a second or third child, having the understanding of what it takes for the first, your choices would probably be significantly different.
Sure.
As far as what you would want to do in that situation.
Sure.
I think just, the expectations of the setup, the hype, you would like to believe most parents would still go full term with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, taking that stance of we'll love our child no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like you said, you're speaking from a mind of the unknown,
right? At
that point, because even if I were going to have one in that situation, and God forbid that ever happened, it's still an unknown for me, even with the two I have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what more or what other things are required, because it's going to be a day by day thing.
Right.
That means I have to research more and how I have to take care of this child.
Well, that's where I'm at with it, right? I think that it's important to remember that if you know ahead of time that you can, for lack of a better phrase, avoid having really, really major, deep medical expenses, cost, long-term / lifetime care for, or a dependent.
Yeah.
And you can, like I said, barring money being an issue, barring there being like a medical concern or a health concern for the woman that is carrying the child, right?
Sure.
You take away all those factors, and it's like, I don't know that I'm one of those. I don't know that I'm one of those people that's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go full term.
Right.
And that's just me being honest. And I'm not trying to lie and say like I could handle that, because I don't know if I can handle that.
But throw in the unknown with the fact that, God forbid again, your significant other has postpartum during that. That's a whole nother level of everything, because you're now dealing with two situations that neither one, but like, you can't fix one.
Right.
You cannot fix one. So that's one situation you're dealing with. And you're dealing with the other situation of how to prepare this child, how to, help this child grow. But in some aspects, you're doing it alone. You know what I mean? And you're going to feel it with the reassuring that you have to constantly reassure your other partner. So it's a lot of mental stress that can be put on both parties at that point. You know what I'm saying? That, again, you can't account for that up front. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of factors in this thing that will definitely, you can measure, prepare for, and there's a lot of things that you also cannot. I think your mental stability and how you deal with this.
I definitely think a lot of people would have the conversation, or at least want to have the conversation, but maybe they don't want to feel like the bad person in bringing this up or something like that. But I think if people are honest with themselves, in their minds, they want to be able to say it, but probably wouldn't. I think there's some that wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
In which case, that would technically be lying to themselves in a situation.
Well, this goes back to a conversation we had before, and we can close out here. But this comes to a conversation we had before about in any type of relationship that you have with a significant other, you have to be willing to have tough conversations.
Yeah.
Right. And both parties you would hope that both parties are understanding of the reason and the purpose for having said tough conversations, because these can be lifelong decisions that you're making.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
Absolutely.
So if you can't have that conversation beforehand or during or while, I would present that and suggest that may be a bit of a red flag for your relationship just in general.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that anybody is wrong or right. I'm just talking about if you can't have those tough conversations with your significant other, you have to factor that into, is this going to work? Because this may not be the only tough decision the tough conversation you have to have.
Absolutely.
It will not be the only tough conversation you have to have.
Right.
So
is there a final say in the situation? Or is it a combined effort?
No, I think that in the scenario that I presented, it always falls on the woman's decision.
Okay.
It's the woman's choice, right? Like I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, it's the woman's choice in that. It's the woman's choice whether she decides to carry the term, whether she decides to terminate, whatever. It's her body. It's her choice.
Right.
We should never try to, govern or determine what she should do or tell her what she should do. But the conversation is still important.
Right.
Just like, you call it what you want, but if you had that conversation and she's vehemently against and you're vehemently for, there's another tough conversation to be had there, or even a tough decision to make there.
Yeah. Or vice versa for that matter.
Or vice versa, exactly. So I'll say all that, not, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to be offensive, but tough conversations have to happen.
Yeah.
That's part of relationships. It's part of life. It's part of adulthood. It's part of being grown. So I will say that. All right. We got to the heavy hitters. We got to the stuff. I'm done. I'm drained.
We're not going to do the podcast infringement?
It's not infringement. It's not infringement because we want to. Yeah, I know. We want to shout out to all the listeners, right? To everybody who's tapped in.
Yeah.
Audio, visual, YouTube, whatever, wherever you listen, Spotify, Apple, whatever. Yeah, we want to shout you guys out, and we appreciate the love and the support, especially when you hit us up and you tell us, "Yo, I tapped in. Your pod is dope."
Yeah.
That we really appreciate that, right?
Yeah.
And we also in turn want to continue to support anything that you may have going on, because we understand that there's an art form to this, whether it looks like it or not. There's an art form to what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So we just want to shout out to all the podcast listeners, the YouTube viewers, and just let y'all know we rock with y'all the long way and we appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? But just know, if you're using our material anywhere in any way, shape, or form, just tag us.
That's it.
Shout us out. You know what I mean? We want to partake too. We want to participate too. So we can grow both our brands.
Facts.
You feel me?
Speaking of which, let's talk about the merch, my man.
Yeah. So all right. So we got a few items.
I see mine didn't have the mic on it, so it must mean something. It's my last episode, I guess.
we were able to get a few items. We got the what is this? The mug with the logo and the barcode on the back, and some cups, and we got a few other items. And I do have a couple of t-shirts, but I wanna tighten those up a few things. But we're getting this thing going, man. The From Earth podcast. Merch, items, things like that. If y'all want some stuff, hit us up. Check the details of the episode for our social media handles or our emails and everything like that, and we can work out a way to get you guys some merch. We want the people representing the From Earth podcast.
Yeah, man.
Get the name out there.
We don't have any bras, so sorry.
We do not have any bras currently, any sports bras currently, but we may be able to add that to the repertoire if needed. You feel me?
Thanks, Adidas.
Yeah, shout out to Adidas.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
All right. I got nothing else. Fellas, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys for coming through.
Absolutely, bro.
Next week, SO, you're in charge of the Reka vodka.
What?
Yeah.
I gotta supply my own poison? Who does that?
Yeah.
And I got nothing else. So, fellas, we're done. It's the end of episode 67. Julius Murph signing out. Peace.